I mean, I know that the coronavirus has made you shift gears in terms of now trying to do things in a digital space. But assuming we get back to normal, what does the future look like for the Root to Knowledge? What are you trying to do with this organization long term? How are you trying to build this out and scale this?
Yeah, and it's funny, this is where is I guess serendipity is the word that, Corey reached out, is because I think about you brothers all the time, and your shirt, Jimmy, by the hood. That's where I'm going. To me, I feel like, again, I built something, already. We're at we're a nonprofit. So once you get that, like, you go. And I think, there's a space to build it in the same way that other communities have their own schools, and go from there. I think it's important to have an entrepreneurial piece to whatever you're doing, especially if you're a Black person. I don't know if y'all have had him on already, but I heard him speak a couple weeks ago, and he just turned that light bulb on for me, the idea of entrepreneurialism and education. That's Sharif Al-Mekki.
No, not yet.
Yep.
Not as yet.
But
We haven't had him on. I went to his school and I did a financial education presentation when he was teaching, when he was the principal at Mastery.
Okay, so y'all know. So I like what he's talking about there, and he has his thing where he's training Black teachers. So I just foresee growing the institution so that there's different arms to it, right? Where there's a publishing arm that does literature and creates some of the books that cover curriculum in the ways that I think need to be done for our students. There's childcare, there's after school programming, so that sports piece remains. There's this space to have a community center for all of this education, teacher training, parent education,
community building, right? And that's what we talk about. Right? So
we on the same vibe.
Yeah. So instead of sitting around complaining about things, you just go build, right? Because that's the solution. We believe in doing for self and go build. And
owning it too, right? Like that. So that's the biggest thing that I take from you guys, and I love what you're doing. Like I need to buy the book. I need to, I love what y'all do, training the kids with the financial literacy. I think that's amazing, and I think about how to add that in the future, because I think that's critical.
Well, we online now, so you can get it from us.
Oh, boom! There you go.
Yeah. And the thing is, here's the other thing too, right? So, and Corey and I talk about this. So we talk about ownership in terms of understanding personal finance, the stock market, or what have you. Also buying the properties in your neighborhood, but what gets lost in that a lot of times is it's not good enough just to own the residential property. You have to own the schools. You have to own the businesses. You have to control
education pieces.
Education piece is huge with that, because you have to control the overall culture and economy. If you just own all the homes, but you still go to the stores owned by other cultures, then
you don't own the neighborhood.
Exactly. You're not really buying the hood per se. You have to own it all. So it's all about community building, and the education piece is a big part of that. And again, this is not really groundbreaking. We've done this before. Like there's
done.
Exactly. It's been done in multiple places where we've created these communities that were vibrant, that taught our history. So it's just a matter of bringing it back and now figuring out how to do that in these days and times. But what you've done thus far is very impressive, man. I'm very proud of you, man. As someone that, graduated school with you, I love to see, like I said, you and your wife, what you guys are doing are amazing, man.
Yo, he was in my advisory for 4 years. Ask him how many times he's seen me in advisory.
That's a whole other story, man. We could spend a whole episode talking about Corey and his rebellion public education, but
the seeds were planted though, right? So in addition to being an advisory, I was just thinking about this, getting ready for this interview, Corey. We was also in kind of what the advanced biology class early on.
Yep.
And that's one of those things that I think about now. It's like, oh wow, like our kids need to make sure that they're getting exposed not only to our history, but the top levels of curriculum that they can. So I work in a pretty prominent independent school out here, and one of the things that I fight in-house on is like, let's make sure the kids don't get pigeonholed into the lowest tracks of the curriculum, because nobody believes that they can do it. Even in a school where you got folks who got money, who got paper, but it's still a thing where when it comes to skin color, they often get left, in the lowest tracks, So I remember coming to Central, and, again, it was huge compared to Germantown Friends. And, I was like, okay, now I'm finally in school with, a whole bunch of Black people and all kinds of other people. And then, you know, I talk about that biology class, and it was like me, Corey, and like 3 other people, you know, that were black.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it was like, wait a minute, like I just finished seeing, you know, United Nations, you know, when I came in the building, and then, you know, when I got to that class, it was very much still like Germantown Friends. So that was one of those was like, how is that happening? And I know it still happens today.
And that's interesting too, right? Because a lot of times it's about what you go back to exposure. It's what you're exposed to. And we tend to not like, you know, they're not going to get this. They're too young. So that happened with us when we started talking about our summer camp, teaching kids finances, the stock market, real estate. A lot of people said, well, they're not ready for that because we started accepting students at 5 years old.
Right.
And those were some of our sharpest students. They got it because all you do is put it to a level they can relate, and they understood economics, banking. I mean, and these are 5-year-olds.
Because it's always around them. They're very branded too. They understand this stuff. You just have to show them that they understand. It's not that they don't know this stuff. It's that they don't know it in the adult terminology.
Yeah, so if you sow those seeds early.
Yeah, we just broke it down into the terminology that they can understand, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is.